Hey everyone, I trust you are staying on the upside. What we are going to do today is make pancake drums. And I was at a little restaurant, coffee shop, and the drummer there had a little pancake drum kit. Now I've looked at a few online. I know we got Tama and DW has one, and there's a few others out there. But this one so happened to be one of those little DW pancake drum kit. And I thought, I got them old pearls that we used to have electric. Most of them's already cut down. What we got to do is figure out what we're going to do with the bass drum. It's already cut down to the 22 by 14 or something. But we need to thin her down just a little bit more if we're going to do pancake drums. Now, I know Tama's drums is like an 18 with a two-headed drum. In other words, you have a batter head and then you have the resonant head, which is usually where the logo is, which looks a whole lot better in my opinion. But the DWs are just, the batter head, and there is nothing else. So that's what we got to decide before we start the project. So right now, let's turn the camera around and see if we can figure something out, or, just go to the house and say the heck with it. Okay, everyone, this is what I'm working with. This is the old bass drum. You can see where I used to have the trigger of the in it for the electric drums, and it's already been cut down. It was once, I don't know, that's probably 14. I don't know. I've looked everywhere for my measuring tape and can't seem to find it. Yeah, actually it's a 12. As you can see right there. And this is what I got to work with. I've got to build a house next week, so reckon we can do the job with that. I don't know where my other measuring tape went, but oh well. So this is what we're working with. I still have, I think I got the hardware for it. I'm not sure. Right here is what I've got. I got to count that out, and really that will determine what size head we're going to go with. If I use a double head, I will use these things. In other words, it's just off my old snare. You just set it in here, and then that would allow you to put the head on both sides, which would be pretty nifty, I think. It'd look a little better for a bass drum. But if we don't have enough of the stuff, we will just go with this. Or we'll just use this first one here, set it on here like this, and cut it right behind it here. And that will be the thickness of it, which would be approximately what? What would that be? 4 inches? Actually, it'll be about 5 1/4. So a little over 5, but hey, it doesn't matter. It ain't going to make no difference anyway. So this is what we're working with. Now, whatever we decide here is, we'll determine if I cut it here or right here. That much difference is all we're dealing with. The thickness of, well, I don't see it now. But anyway, you can see the thickness from here to here. That's going to be the only difference between the two, other than the thickness of the rims that you have on each side. Let me count the hardwire and see what we got, and then what I'm going to use to cut it down is that thing. Don't even know if it works. I found it out in my other building, beside of my drum building, where I keep my lawnmower. And that was something to dig out of there. I don't know if it works, but if it does, we will cut these drums down with that saw. So let's see what we got, and I will get back to you and tell you what we're going to do here. Okay, I've got enough of this hardwire to do 2 heads. I kind of want to do 2 heads, I think. I just don't know if I want to look at all of that. But let's get the hardwire tore off of it, and decide what we're going to do. I have everything to do the two heads. Or we could do the one and do it that way. But anyway, let me get this thing tore down and we will, I think on it. How about that? Would you do two or one? You know? Of course, I've done this by the time the video is posted, but, you know, just to see which one would you have done if you were doing this. The two heads, but one. I have everything to do the two heads. So, don't know. One or two heads. I kind of want to try the two heads. Two heads are better than one, right? That's what my mom always said. Two heads are better than one. So, let's do it, okay? Let's get it tore down and ponder upon these things. And hopefully I will, it's easier to do the one head because I'm dealing with one head, okay? And I can't even deal with this head, you know? Much less two, you know. I'm undecided. If I just do one head, it's a lot easier. I'm going to have to borrow the heads from my PDD kit because I ain't buying no drum heads, two of them. So that's something to consider too. I don't know, let's get her tore down and let's figure it out from there. I just thought of something. If we do two heads, we got to have a bearing edge on the other side. So let's take a look around and see if we got a router. Okay, let's do that. Okay, I have a router. It doesn't have the right end on it. Let's see, we would need a 45, right? I guess one of them's a 45. What do you think? We could do a round one. Would that round it? How do we actually need to do this? Let me think on this. So we would have to do the bearing edge, which would be kind of interested to try. I mean, if we mess it up, what do we care, right? I was going to cut it up for kindling anyway. Let me see, we got this one to practice on. We have make a practice hit with the router. Let's just experiment around. But we still ain't got it tore down. Let's do it. All right, we got her stripped. Could that be a problem? Let me move my fingers. I have this piece to put in there if we run the two heads. If we run the one head, we still will clear it, won't we? But we will have to put, do I got that? Yeah. I would have to put this back on it. And if I run the one head. Okay. Okay. So we can do it either way still. But we are at the place where we got to figure out what we're going to do. I have enough of these to run the two heads. But it will be coming to right here. And I would just have to put that plate back over it. I don't know how that's going to work without that stuff. Which ain't really going to work, is it? Okay. Well, let me think a little more and get back with you. Okay. The decision is try it with the two heads. Cut it first. I'm going to set the camera up and we're going to cut this with the table saw and look at it then and decide. Honestly, it's easier to do the one head. I mean, just right off the bat. But I'm wanting to try to cut a bearing edge because I never have. So let's cut it and look at it. And, you know, I'm still undecided. We can always cut it down, another couple inches to get the one head. Okay, so let's do it. Whew, had to let the dust clear. But yeah, this is kind of what we got here. Plenty of room for the burring edge. It cut pretty good. You know, I didn't have tape to tape this. This is still the old shell. But hey, it cut pretty good. So this is what we are looking at. Now let's try to put a burring edge on it. And if it don't work out, that's a good even place for the legs with the two heads. And at this point, I'm thinking that will work out pretty good. I just have to get the rest of this hardwire. And let's see if we've done it right. It looks pretty close both ways, doesn't it? You know, a measuring tape would be nice in the house, wouldn't it? Oh, wow. That's right on the money both ways, so that'll work. I don't know where the camera was. I'm trying to hold it and work. So if we decide to, that looks good. Let's try the burring edge. And if I mess that up, we will just cut it on down and use that. Yeah. Okay. I've been experimenting. And looks like we're going to have to go with a 30-degree edge because I don't have a 45 that will work. The 45 that I had didn't have this little roller bearing on the end of it to stop it to when you go around it here. So we're going to have to be like Gretch and do a 30-degree. So we have a 45 on the batter head and a 30 on the resident head. Sounds good to me. Matches right up with me. Couldn't get it no better. So let's do the burring edge and see what happens, okay? Okay, I had to put a 30-degree burring edge on it because I didn't have the 45, but I think it'll work. I also put a little lilin on this side and also on the inside there. I don't know if the camera really shows it, but I threw it out there. Need to sand it just a little bit and put the hardwire on it and see what happens. Well, it's break time, guys. The router and the saw that I was using, these tools that I'm using is kind of special. My dad used to have a woodworking shop and do all of this stuff right. Okay. I'm sure he had the right router bit back at his place, but you know, that's what I brought home. And honestly, I think I got him that router back in the early to mid 80s. I know I was just a teenager when we bought her Christmas gift. So that thing's been around a day and a night. So it was kind of special to use that thing. I've had that a couple years over there in the corner and never really done anything with it. So it was an honor to actually get to use that. The old table saw he gave to me when I first moved over here back in the early 2000s. It's not much, but hey, it saws, it does the trick. And I have some of his other stuff, little sanders and belt sanders and things, but the bulk of it, my cousin wanted them, so we discussed it and felt that it would be in best interest. He had a place for it, I didn't. I'd like to have it and set me up a woodworking shop, but you know, we have to do what we have to do, and I'm lucky to get some of it. And I know my cousin will take care of it and use it and cherish it like I would. Let's get some hardware on these and see what they look like. I'm going to try the double head. It would have been a whole lot easier to have done the single one, and probably wouldn't have been a whole lot of difference. I could have been done with this thing already. But, you know, around here, we don't do things the easy way. We figure out the hard way to do it, and that's probably what we done. And I think it'll look a lot better. It probably won't sound no better. It may even hurt the sound of it. I don't know. But we can always cut it down a little more. Let's get at it, guys. Break's over. Well, we just about have the hardware on the bass drum that we are working on. Just a few little more tightening ups. You know, the tightening ups. Just snug them up, it's fine. And as long as it holds the head on, right? Well, are we done? Nope, there's one. Well, that's a look over so far. Now we got to put the legs on her and see how she turns out and put some heads, and we done. Wow, you know what we forgot to do? We forgot to polish all of this chrome up. Whoops, poor old me. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll wipe her down real good and give it the old thumbs up. How's that sound? That's right, I'm not hard to please around here. You know, it's probably going to make kindling anyways. You know what I'm saying? Okay. We got its legs on. Don't know how they're going to work, but hey, we got them on. And, you know, we just have to see there. Is it even going to work? Actually, it might work, guys. Just a quick look at the bass drum, the Pancake bass drum. I went ahead and put the PDD front head on it and the hoop. I thought it looked better, and I'm wanting to change the heads on the PDDs anyway. I would just go back with a DW. Had to do the lugs just a little different. As you can see, I got one turned this way, one turned that way, and it tuned up alright, so hopefully it'll work. Couldn't use the other ones, they set down lower. These sets up a little higher because these hoops are thicker than those over there. So as you can, I don't know if you can see, but quite a bit of difference in the height. These sets, I don't know if the camera shows that or not. But anyways, the look at the Pancake bass drum. Okay everyone, I'm going to try to, I'm in the process of painting these. The shell came off of this one, it's kind of rough. I'm going to use it for a snare, and I would go over actually how you make a little snare, a cheap, easy way. And we will look more into that. But, you know, for right now, I just scuffed this up, mainly with this little sanding block. Just worked with a burring edge and then just scuffed it up a little to where that it will hold paint. We are going to flat black because I'm lazy. And where is that light coming from? Where's the light coming from? Oh, it's my thumb. Excuse me, everybody. But anyway, that's what I've been doing. I'm going to wipe it down and paint it. I will shoot a little video when it's painted, and we'll get the hardwire back on it. And then we'll put this together and do the snare. Okay, everyone, this is a little look at the, this is the one without the wrapping around it, this bare wood, and I don't know, do I need to cut that light off? I don't even know how to do that. But anyway, you can kind of get an idea of what it turned out. This will be the snare. Right now it's just the tom. What we're going to do right now, I went ahead and painted those bolts silver. I had them. Kind of adds a little detail, although this is just a bunch of junk thrown together. So at this time, now if I was going to do a tom, this would be what it would be. Pretty much. But if you're going to make a snare out of it, well, then I'll show you what we do. What I'm going to do, I'm going to loosen this bolt. And then we're going to take a snare wire and cut it down. Cut it about halfway. Mine's a little over half. Well, it's about halfway to a 14 inch. This is a 12 inch. It'll be a 12 inch snare. And then what we're going to do, I'm just going to loosen this bolt and put it underneath it. It won't be a throw off, but it, you know, there's a little kit you can get to do that. So at this time, I'm going to install this underneath one of these bolts. Okay, the snare wire should kind of be like that right there. You see, I just loosened it and put it underneath it. And then we're going to give this a try. See what it looks like on the upper side. Back off just a little bit. So that's kind of what the snare will look like. So I guess let's get all of this together and see how it sounds. Okay, I have the little snare and the bass drum set up. I'm still working on the rest of it. I threw up a hi-hat and a ride cymbal. We're going to just briefly try this DIY Pancake drum, bass drum out, and this DIY snare drum. Now, as I was showing you a little earlier, hope I didn't make too much racket, but I was just done a little sound check here. So the bass drum, and then this is the DIY snare, and I'm going to pull it off and show you actually how this turned out. I guess you could mic these things from underneath. I don't know. We will experiment around here just for a minute. And I'm going to put the rest of these together, set all the kit up, put a crash on here, and play them a little while. Do a drum cover. Why not while we got them set up? And this, I'm trying the bass and the DIY. Both of these is the ones that I've been filming on. So I'm at the stages of testing, and then we will put the rest of the kit together. If we can get this much to kind of sound all right, we will continue on with the rest. So I'm just going to play around with them just a little bit. First, I'm just going to play around this snare. Now, I went over how I actually did this. It's very simple. They do make little kits that you can kick that off. And I'm going to experiment around with this if it sounds good enough to where that maybe I can put a little more attention on the snare wires or take them away. Personally think that I need a little bit bigger snare wire, the wider ones, and it would sound a whole lot better. But I don't think it's too bad for what we're doing here. I mean, heck, we just scrounged up a bunch of junk out of the garage and decided to make a pancake drum. So let's play around with them. You know, for what it is, it's not too bad. To me, it's got a little piccolo snare sound. Um, Okay, let me round up a song and see what it does. I can't wait. How about you?